Captain June Kim stood on the bridge of the Earthship Aurora. His dark eyes watched the stars through the large viewing window. The ship moved slowly near the planet Neptune. It was just another normal day of patrol duty. "Captain, something strange is showing on our screens," said Officer Han, who watched the sensor panel. June walked over. "What is it?" "I don't know, sir. It's big, very big, and it just appeared from nowhere." The main screen turned on. Everyone on the bridge looked up. What they saw made them silent. A huge tear in space had opened. From this tear came an object so large that June had trouble believing what he saw. "Is that a ship?" he asked. "Yes, sir," said Han. "It's bigger than anything humans have ever built. It's about the size of a small moon." The object was dark and shaped like a sharp blade. Strange lights moved across its surface in patterns that hurt the eyes if looked at too long. "Send a message," ordered June. "Standard greeting." Communications Officer Yuna Lee nodded. "Sending now, sir." The bridge. Crew waited. 5 minutes passed. 10. "Captain," said Yuna suddenly. "They're answering." The main screen changed. What they saw was not human. It seemed to be made of crystal that caught the light and broke it into colors. It had a shape that was almost human-like, but wrong in ways that made June feel uncomfortable. "We are the Stein," said the being. Its voice sounded like many voices speaking together. "Your world is now part of our empire. We have ruled for 10,000 years. You will serve us." June stood straighter. "This is Captain June Kim of Earth. We are a free people. We do not serve anyone." The crystal being made a sound like breaking glass. June realized it was laughing. "All say this at first," said the Stein. "All serve in the end. You have one cycle of your sun to prepare for integration." "Integration?" asked June. "What does that mean?" "Your people will be changed to better serve our needs. It is an honor. Many worlds have been improved by our touch." June felt cold fear run down his back. "And if we refuse?" Again, the sound of breaking glass. "None refuse. We are the Stein. We have ruled for 10,000 years. We will speak again when your time is done." The screen went dark. For a moment, no one on the bridge spoke. Then June turned to Yuna. "Send everything to Earth right now. Tell them it's the highest emergency." Dr. Yoon Park played the message for the 5th time. The meeting room was full of Earth's most important leaders. Everyone looked scared. "Can we fight them?" asked the president of the United Earth Council. General Tai Sung shook his head. "Not with what we have now. Our scans show their ship has weapons we can't even understand. They could destroy our whole planet." "There must be something we can do," said Dr. Park. She was the top scientist at Earth Defense. Her job was to understand alien technology. "No enemy is perfect. Every system has a weakness." "We have one day," said the president. "Find that weakness." Dr. Park nodded and left the room. She went straight to her lab where her team waited. "We need to look deeper at their message," she told them. "Not just the words, but the signal itself." Her assistant, Dr. Hyun Choi, nodded. He was strange but very smart. "I'll run it through all our computers." They worked without stopping. Hours passed. Dr. Park's eyes burned from looking at screens too long. "Wait," said Dr. Choi suddenly. "Look at this pattern." Dr. Park came over. On the screen was a complex wave pattern from the alien signal. "It's not perfect," she said slowly. "See, these small breaks? They shouldn't be there in a perfect system." "Exactly," Dr. Choi was excited now. "Their technology is amazing, but it has small mistakes. Tiny ones, but they are there." Dr. Park felt hope for the first time. Every system with mistakes can be broken. She called General Sung right away. Captain June Kim was called to Earth for an emergency meeting. He sat at a large table with General Sung, Dr. Park, and the president. "We have a plan," said General Sung. "But it's very dangerous." "We can't fight them directly," added Dr. Park, "but we might be able to find a weakness if we can get inside their ship." June raised his eyebrows. Inside? How? Dr. Park showed him a small device. This uses quantum science to hide from their sensors. We think it will work because of small flaws we found in their systems. Think? Asked June. We can't be sure, admitted Dr. Park. But it's our only chance. The president looked at June. We need our best captain for this mission, someone who can get in, find what we need, and get out. June understood what they were asking. It might be a suicide mission, but the whole human race was in danger. I'll do it, he said. But I need to pick my own team. General Sung nodded. Of course. Who do you want? Commander Min Lee for tactics. She's the best. And Lieutenant Subin Park for systems. He can hack anything. Good choices, said the president. You leave in 6 hours on our newest stealth ship, the Phantom. As they left the meeting, Dr. Park stopped June. Captain, there's something else you should know, she said in a low voice. From what we can tell, the Stain aren't just taking over planets. They're taking the people themselves somehow. Changing them. Changing them? How? We don't know exactly. But the patterns in their signal suggest they use the brains of conquered species, maybe to help them think, or to power their ships. June felt sick. So they're not just conquerors. They're harvesters, yes. This mission isn't just to save our freedom, it's to save humanity itself. 6 hours later, Captain June Kim stood on the bridge of the small stealth ship Phantom. Commander Min Lee was at the weapons station. Lieutenant Subin Park was working on the computer systems. All systems ready, Captain, said Min. Her face was serious but calm. Stealth systems working, added Subin. Dr. Park's device is running. June took a deep breath. Let's go then. Set course for the Stain warship. The small ship moved away from Earth, heading toward Neptune where the giant alien vessel waited. The fate of humanity rested on their shoulders as they flew through the darkness of space. June thought about what Dr. Park had said. The Stein didn't just want Earth, they wanted human minds. After 10,000 years of conquering, what kind of monsters had they become? He looked at his small but brave crew. They were humanity's best hope. The Stain had ruled for 10,000 years, but they had never met humans before. Perhaps that would be their downfall. Approaching Neptune orbit, said Subin. On the main screen, the massive Stein warship came into view. It hung in space like a dark blade waiting to cut Earth's future short. Stealth systems at maximum, said Subin. Let's see if we can find a way in, said June quietly. The mission to save humanity had begun. The Phantom moved silently through space. Captain June Kim and his small crew watched as the giant Stein warship grew larger on their screens. It was so big that it blocked out the stars behind it. Stealth system still working, said Lieutenant Subin. His fingers moved quickly over the control panel. They don't see us yet. Commander Min Lee studied the alien ship. We need to find a way in. Look for doors, hatches, anything. The Phantom slowly circled the massive warship. Its dark surface seemed solid, with no clear way to enter. There, said Subin suddenly. That looks like some kind of opening. Maybe where smaller ships go in and out. June looked at the spot on the screen. There was a faint line in the shape of a large square. Take us closer, he ordered. Carefully. The Phantom moved toward the possible entrance. As they got closer, they saw that it was indeed a door of some kind. How do we open it? Asked Min. Before anyone could answer, the door began to move on its own. It slid open smoothly. That's strange, said Subin. Did they see us? I don't think so, said June. Their sensors would have found us all over the ship, not just here. It must be opening for another reason. They watched as a smaller Stein ship flew out through the opening. It was still much bigger than the Phantom, shaped like a pointed spike. Where is it going? Whispered Min. Probably to check on Earth, said June. Let's use this chance to get inside. He took control of the Phantom himself, guiding it carefully through the open door before it could close. They found themselves in a vast hangar bay. Many spike-shaped ships sat in neat rows. The Phantom was tiny compared to them. "Find somewhere to hide our ship," said June. Subin pointed to a dark corner where large containers were stacked. "Over there." June landed the Phantom behind the containers. The three humans put on their spacesuits with helmets that could hide their faces. "Remember," said June, "we need to find out how this ship works, what its weaknesses are, and how they plan to integrate humans. We stay together, we stay hidden, and we get back to the ship as soon as we can." Min and Subin nodded. They checked their small weapons, though all three knew the guns would not help much against a race that had ruled space for 10,000 years. They left the Phantom and stepped onto the floor of the Styan ship. Back on Earth, Dr. Yoon Park was working without rest. Dr. Choi and their team filled the lab, all bent over computers or strange devices. "Any word from Captain Kim?" asked Dr. Choi. Dr. Park shook her head. "Nothing yet. They must be inside the Styan ship by now." A soldier entered the lab. "Dr. Park, General Sung wants to see you right away." She followed the soldier to a large room with many screens. "General," Sung stood in the middle, his face dark with worry. "A smaller ship just left the main Styan vessel," he said without greeting. "It's heading toward Earth." Dr. Park felt her heart beat faster. "Are they attacking early?" "We don't think so. It looks like a scout ship, but it means they're watching us closely." Dr. Park thought for a moment. "We need more time. Captain Kim and his team must find something we can use." "And if they don't?" asked the general. She had no answer for that. On the Styan warship, June, Min, and Subin moved carefully through dark hallways. The inside of the ship was strange. The walls seemed to pulse with faint light, almost as if the ship itself was alive. "This way," whispered Subin, looking at a small device in his hand. "I'm picking up strong energy readings." They walked through hallways that twisted in ways that made no sense. Sometimes the floor would suddenly become a wall, or a ceiling, would open to show another room above. It was like walking through a dream. "I think the ship changes shape," said Min quietly. "It's not built like our ships at all." They turned a corner and froze. Ahead of them was a stain. It looked different from the one they had seen on the screen. This one was taller, its crystal body glowing with inner light. It stood in front of a door, not moving. "Is it a guard?" whispered Min. "I don't know," said June, "but we need to get past it." Subin studied his device. "The energy reading is coming from behind that door." June thought quickly. "We need a distraction." Min pulled a small object from her pocket. "I have this. It creates a sound in another place." She set it on the floor and pressed a button. Then she picked it up again. They waited. Suddenly a loud bang came from far down the hallway they had just walked through. The Styan guard turned its crystal head toward the sound. Then it moved away from the door, going to check what had happened. "Now," said June. They hurried to the door. It opened as they approached, just like the hangar door had. Inside was a large room filled with glowing equipment. In the center was a column of pure light that reached from floor to ceiling. "What is it?" asked Min. Subin moved around the room, scanning with his device. "It's some kind of power source, but it's like nothing I've ever seen." June stepped closer to the light column. Inside it, he could see patterns moving like thoughts made visible. "It's beautiful," he said without thinking. "Captain, look at this," called Subin. He was standing in front of a screen covered in symbols. "I think these are their plans for Earth." June and Min joined him. The symbols meant nothing to them, but there were also pictures. They showed humans being taken into machines. What came out was not human anymore. "They're going to turn us into them," said Min, her voice shaking. June felt cold anger rise inside him. "Not if we stop them." Subin worked quickly, connecting his device to the Styan computer. "I'm copying everything I can. Dr. Park might be able to understand it." Suddenly, a high sound filled the room. The door slid open. "Hide!" hissed June. The three humans ducked behind large pieces of equipment. Through a small gap, June could see three Styan enter the room. They moved to the light column and raised their crystal arms. The column pulsed brighter. The Stain made sounds like singing glass. They seemed to be talking to the light itself. After what felt like hours, the Stein finally left. June let out a breath he didn't know he was holding. "We should go too," he said. "We have what we came for." They moved back toward the door, but before they could reach it, it opened again. A different Stein stood there. This one was smaller than the others, but its crystal body glowed with stronger light. It looked directly at them. Then it spoke in perfect human language. "You should not be here, Earth creatures." June reached for his weapon, but he knew it was too late. They had been caught. Then something unexpected happened. The small Stain stepped aside. "Go quickly," it said, "before the others sense you." The humans stared in shock. "Why are you helping us?" asked June. "Not all Stain want war," said the crystal being. "Some of us remember when we were young and curious, not old and cruel. Now go." Without waiting to see if they would follow, the Stain turned and walked away. "Can we trust it?" asked Min. "Do we have a choice?" said June. "Let's move." They hurried back through the twisting hallways, trying to remember the way they had come. Twice they had to hide from other Stein. Finally, they reached the hangar bay where the Phantom waited. "We made it," said Subin with relief. "Not yet," said June, pointing. Between them and their ship stood 5 Stein guards, their crystal bodies glowing with angry red light. The 5 Stein guards moved toward June, Min, and Subin. Their crystal bodies glowed with angry red light. The humans had nowhere to run. "What do we do, Captain?" whispered Min. June looked around quickly. They were still too far from the Phantom to reach it in time. He touched the small gun at his side but knew it would not help much. "We need to split up," he said. "Create confusion." Before he could say more, a loud alarm sounded throughout the hangar. The Stain guards turned their heads toward the sound. Then, without warning, all the lights in the hangar went out. "Now," shouted June, "run for the ship." In the darkness, they sprinted toward where the Phantom was hidden. Behind them, they could hear the Stein making sharp, angry sounds. Beams of red light shot through the darkness, missing them by inches. They reached the ship and climbed inside. Quickly, June jumped into the pilot's seat and started the engines. The Phantom rose from its hiding place. "The hangar door is closed," said Subin. "We can't get out." Min pointed to a control panel. "Can we open it from here?" Subin shook his head. "I don't know how their systems work." The Stain guards were shooting at the ship now. Red beams hit the hull, making it shake. "Our shields won't last long," said Min. Suddenly, the hangar door began to open on its own. Through the gap, they could see the blackness of space. "Who opened it?" asked Subin. June remembered the small Stain who had helped them. "We have a friend, it seems." He pushed the Phantom forward at full speed. They shot out of the hangar and into space. Behind them, more alarms sounded on the Stain warship. "They're coming after us," said Min. She pointed to the screen where several spike-shaped ships were launching from the warship. "Full power to engines," ordered June. "We need to get back to Earth with what we found." The Phantom raced through space, the Stain ships close behind. On Earth, Dr. Yoon Park was watching the sky with great worry. The Stain scout ship had entered Earth orbit and was just sitting there watching. "What are they waiting for?" asked General Sung, who stood beside her. "The deadline isn't here yet," said Dr. Park. "They said 1 solar cycle. They're giving us time to accept our fate." "Which we won't do," said the general firmly. Dr. Park's communication device made a sound. She answered it quickly. "Dr. Park, here." "Doctor, we've picked up the Phantom on our long-range sensors," said a voice. "They're coming back fast, but they have Stain ships right behind them." Dr. Park felt both relief and fear. Captain Kim made it, but they need help. General Sung was already moving. "I'll send our best ships to meet them. We need to get them safely back to Earth." In the Phantom, things were getting worse. One of the Stain weapons had hit their engine, and they were losing power. "We can't outrun them now," said Min. Her face was tight with worry. Subin was working quickly at his station. I've sent a message to Earth with everything we found. Even if we don't make it, they'll get the information. June looked at his brave crew. We're not done yet, we still have some tricks left. He turned the ship sharply, heading toward the rings of Saturn. The beautiful rings were made of countless pieces of ice and rock. What are you doing? Asked Min. Making it harder for them to follow, said June. The Phantom dived into the rings. Pieces of ice and rock hit the hull with small sounds like rain. The Stain ships followed, but they were bigger and could not move as quickly through the narrow spaces. It's working, said Subin. They're falling behind. One of the Stain ships hit a large rock and spun out of control. Another tried to turn too quickly and crashed into a third. The remaining ships slowed down, more careful now. We're still losing power, warned Min. We can't stay here long. June nodded. Just a little longer, we need to lose them completely. He flew deeper into the rings, then cut all power to the engines. The Phantom drifted dark and silent among the ice and rocks. The Stain ships moved past them, still searching. After several tense minutes, they turned and headed back toward their warship. They think we crashed, said Min with a small smile. June started the engines again using minimal power. Now let's get home. The Phantom limped out of Saturn's rings and turned toward Earth. Their speed was much slower now with the damaged engine. Earth ships are coming to meet us, said Subin, looking at his screen. They'll be here in 20 minutes. Good, said June. What about the Stain scout ship near Earth? Still there, just watching. June frowned. They're planning something. I can feel it. Dr. Park met the Phantom when it finally landed at the main Earth base. Captain Kim and his crew looked tired but alive. Subin handed her a small device. Everything we found is here, he said. Their plans, their systems, everything. Dr. Park took it carefully. You've done an amazing job, all of you. June shook his head. We almost didn't make it, and we had help from inside the ship. Help? Asked Dr. Park with surprise. From who? A Stain, a small one. It said not all of them want war. Dr. Park looked thoughtful. That could be important. They walked to the command center where General Sung waited. Large screens showed the Stain warship still near Neptune, and the scout ship in Earth orbit. Tell us everything, said the general. June explained what they had seen inside the alien ship, how the walls seemed alive, the strange light column that seemed to hold thoughts, and the plans to change humans into crystal beings like the Styen. They're not just one being, said Subin. They're many minds connected together. The ship itself is part of them. Dr. Choi, who had been studying the data they brought back, looked up from his screen. They're a hive mind, he said. Each crystal body is connected to all others. They think as one. Not all of them, reminded June. Some still think for themselves. Dr. Park nodded. That might be their weakness. A perfect hive mind shouldn't have individual thoughts. An alarm sounded. Everyone looked at the main screen. The Stain scout ship was moving. Where's it going? Asked General Sung. It's heading for our moon base, said an officer. The general's face went dark. Why? There's nothing important there. There's a quantum communications array, said Dr. Park suddenly. We use it to talk to our ships in deep space. They watched as the scout ship reached the moon base. A beam of red light shot down. The base exploded in a flash of light. They're cutting us off, said June. Making sure we can't talk to our other ships. Before anyone could respond, dozens of lights appeared on the screen. More Stein ships were coming out of the warship. They're not waiting for the deadline, said General Sung. They're attacking now. On every screen, the Stein ships moved toward Earth. The final battle for humanity had begun. The sky over Earth filled with Stein ships. They looked like sharp silver needles against the blue. People in cities all over the world looked up with fear. In the command center, General Sung gave orders quickly. Launch all defense ships. Activate the shield stations. Earth had built a network of stations in space that could create a shield around the planet. It was not perfect, but it might give them time. Captain June stood with Dr. Park and her team, watching the screens. Small Earth ships rose to meet the Stain fleet. They looked tiny compared to the alien vessels. "They don't have a chance," said June quietly. "Maybe they do," said Dr. Park. She turned to Dr. Choi. "What have you found in the data?" Dr. Choi pointed to his screen. "The stain ships are alive in a way. The crystal beings are connected to the ship through that light column we saw. It's a network for their minds." "Can we break the connection?" asked June. "Maybe," said Dr. Choi. "But we would need to get close to their main warship." On the screens, the battle began. Stan ships fired red beams that cut through Earth ships easily. The Earth weapons did almost no damage to the alien vessels. "We're losing," said General Sung, his face dark with worry. Earth shield activated, a blue glow surrounding the planet. The Stain ships hit it with their weapons. The shield held, but it was already getting weaker. "The shield won't last more than an hour," said an officer. Dr. Park turned to June. "We need to try something. We know the Stein are a hive mind. They all think together through that light column. If we could disrupt it somehow, we'd need to get back to their main warship," said June. "But the Phantom is damaged, and even if it wasn't, they'd be watching for us now." Subin, who had been quiet until now, spoke up. "What about the Stein who helped us? It said not all of them want war. Maybe there are more like it." Dr. Choi nodded excitedly. "Yes, and I found something else in the data. The Stein communicate through quantum waves. If we could send a message on their frequency, we might reach the ones who want peace." "How do we do that?" asked Min. "We have a quantum transmitter in the lab," said Dr. Park. "We could adjust it to match their frequency." General Sung frowned. "This is our plan? To ask the enemy for help?" "Do you have a better idea?" asked June. "Our weapons can't hurt them." The general was silent for a moment, then nodded. "Do it." Dr. Park and Dr. Choi hurried to their lab. June and Min followed. Subin stayed to help track the Stain ships. In the lab, Dr. Park worked quickly on a large machine. "This transmitter is experimental. We've been using it to study quantum communication." "Can it reach the Stain warship?" asked June. "I think so," said Dr. Park. "But what do we say?" Dr. Choi was studying the Stain data. "I've been looking at their language patterns. I think I can create a basic message." He typed quickly on a computer connected to the transmitter. Strange symbols appeared on the screen. "What does it say?" asked Min. "It says, 'Some Stains seek peace. Humans seek peace. Meet to talk,'" explained Dr. Choi. Dr. Park finished adjusting the transmitter. "Ready? Sending now." The machine hummed and glowed. The message was sent into space. "Now we wait," said June. On the main Stain warship, the High Commander stood before the light column. Its crystal body glowed with power. Around it, other Stein worked at their stations. The High Commander felt the message arrive. It was a strange feeling, like a whisper in its mind. For a moment it was confused. Then anger filled it. "The humans try to trick us," it said to the others. "They think we are divided." But even as it spoke, the High Commander felt something strange in the hive mind. A ripple of disagreement. Some of the younger Stan were curious about the humans. They did not want to destroy them. "Silence your thoughts," ordered the High Commander. "We are Stain. We have ruled for 10,000 years. We do not change." Most obeyed, but some did not. Back on Earth, the shield was failing. Several Stain ships had broken through and were attacking cities. The ground shook with explosions. "No response to our message," said Dr. Park with disappointment. June looked at the data from the Stain ship again. "Wait. The light column. It's their connection point. What if we sent a different kind of signal? Something that would disrupt their hive mind?" Dr. Choi's eyes widened. "Like a virus?" "Yes, that might work. We could create a quantum wave that would interfere with their connection." "Would it hurt them?" asked Min. "I don't think so," said Dr. Choi. "It would just disconnect them from each other, make them think as individuals, not as one mind." Dr. Park nodded. Let's try it. But we'd need to send it from closer to their warship. The signal needs to be strong. I'll go, said June immediately. The Phantom is damaged, but it can still fly. I'm going with you, said Min. Dr. Park began working on the new signal. This will take a few minutes to program. Suddenly, Su Bin's voice came through the communication system. Captain, a stay-in ship just landed outside the base, but it's not attacking. June rushed back to the command center with the others. On the screen, they could see a small stay-in ship. It was different from the others, smoother and less sharp. Is it a trick? Asked General Sung. The door of the ship opened. A small stay-in stepped out. Its crystal body glowed with soft light. It's the one who helped us, said June with surprise. The stay-in raised its arms in what looked like a gesture of peace. It spoke and its voice was translated through Earth systems. I am Tal. There are many of us who do not want war. We heard your message. General Sung looked at June. Can we trust it? We don't have much choice, said June. And it did save our lives on the warship. The general nodded. Bring it in, but carefully. Minutes later, the stay-in, named Tal, stood in the command center. Earth soldiers watched it closely. Why are you helping us? Asked June. The Stain were not always conquerors, said Tal. Once we were explorers, learners, but over thousands of years the hive mind grew stronger. Individual, thought became rare. And you can still think for yourself? Asked Dr. Park. Some of us can. Mostly the younger ones. We want change. Dr. Choi explained their plan to disrupt the hive mind connection. Tal listened carefully. It could work, it said finally. But you would need to reach the main light column on the warship, and the High Commander will protect it with everything. Will you help us? Asked June. Tal's body glowed brighter. Yes, I will take you there in my ship. The other peace seekers will help from inside. As they prepared to leave, Dr. Park handed June a small device. This will send the disruption signal. You need to place it directly on the light column. June took it carefully. I understand. Min and Tal waited by the stay-in ship. As June joined them, he looked up at the sky. Through breaks in the clouds, he could see flashes of light as the battle continued in space. Earth was losing. Let's go, he said. The three entered Tal's ship. It was strange inside, with walls that seemed to be made of the same crystal as the stay-in themselves. Ready? Asked Tal. June nodded. Ready? The ship rose into the air, heading toward space, toward the main stay-in warship, and toward humanity's last hope. Tal's ship moved quickly through the battle around Earth. Because it was a stay-in ship, the other stay-in vessels did not attack it. June and Min watched from inside as Earth ships fought and died. We have to hurry, said Min. The shield is almost gone. Tal guided the ship toward the massive stay-in warship that still hung near Neptune. There are others like me on the warship. They will help us get to the light column. How many? Asked June. Not many, admitted Tal. Most Stein cannot think for themselves anymore. The hive mind is too strong. As they got closer to the warship, Tal sent a signal. A door opened in the side of the huge vessel, the same hangar they had escaped from before. They are expecting you to bring human prisoners, explained Tal. That is what I told them. The small ship landed in the hangar. Stay-in moved around outside, their crystal bodies glowing with many colors. Now we must be careful, said Tal. Follow me and act like prisoners. June and Min put their hands in front of them, pretending they were tied. Tal led them out of the ship. The other Stein watched, but did not stop them. The High Commander wants to see the humans, said Tal to a guard. Its voice made sounds like breaking glass. The guard stepped aside. Tal led June and Min through the twisting hallways of the ship. They passed many Stein, all connected to the hive mind, all thinking as one. How much further? Whispered June. Not far, said Tal. The light column is at the center of the ship. They turned a corner and stopped. Ahead was a large door guarded by 3 tall Stein. Their bodies glowed with red light. The High Commander's guards, said Tal quietly. They will not let us pass. Min looked around. Is there another way? No. The light column can only be reached through this door. June thought for a moment. Can you distract them? We just need a few seconds to get through the door. Tal's body flickered, showing it was thinking. Yes. Wait here. Tal walked toward the guards. It spoke to them in the glass-breaking language of the Stay-in. The guards turned toward Tal. Their bodies glowed brighter, showing they were angry. Now, whispered June. He and Min moved quietly along the wall. While Tal kept the guards' attention, they slipped past and reached the door. It opened automatically as they approached. Inside was a vast room. In the center was the light column, much bigger than the one they had seen before. It reached from floor to ceiling, pulsing with bright light. Around it stood many Stay-in, including one larger than all the others. Its crystal body glowed with blinding white light. The High Commander, said Min. The High Commander turned toward them. Its voice filled the room. Humans, you think you can stop us? We have ruled for 10,000 years. Your world is just one more for our collection. June held the disruption device tightly. Somehow he needed to get close enough to place it on the light column. Why do you need to conquer? He asked, trying to keep the High Commander talking. Why not live in peace? Peace is weakness, said the High Commander. The galaxy belongs to the strong. We are strong because we are one mind, one purpose. But you are not always like this, said June. Tal told us you were once explorers and learners. The High Commander's body flashed with angry red light. Tal is young and foolish. The old ways were weak. While June kept talking, Min moved slowly around the edge of the room. The other Stay-in were watching June and the High Commander. They did not notice her. I think you're afraid, said June boldly. Afraid of change, afraid of new ideas. That's why you need everyone to think the same. The High Commander moved closer to June. You know nothing, human. Your species is young and ignorant, maybe, said June. But we still think for ourselves. We don't need to force everyone to be the same. Min had almost reached the light column now. Just a few more steps. Suddenly, the door burst open. Tal rushed in, followed by several Stay-in guards. The guards' bodies glowed with angry red light. The human speaks to distract us, shouted one of the guards. The other one tries to reach the light column. All eyes turned to Min. She was just steps away from the column. Stop her, ordered the High Commander. The guards moved toward Min. She would not reach the column in time. Then something surprising happened. Several of the Stay-in in the room moved to block the guards. Their bodies glowed with soft blue light. We choose free thought, said one of them. We choose peace. Traitors, cried the High Commander. The room exploded into chaos. Stay-in fought Stay-in, their crystal bodies clashing with sounds like breaking glass. June ran toward Min. Together, they pushed through the fighting and reached the light column. Now, shouted June. Min placed the disruption device on the column. It stuck there, a small dark spot on the bright light. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the device began to pulse. Waves of energy spread through the light column. The fighting around them stopped as all the Stay-in turned to watch. What have you done? Demanded the High Commander. We've given your people a choice, said June. To think as one or to think as individuals. The light column's glow changed. Instead of a single bright light, it now showed many different colors, all flowing together but still separate. The effect on the Stay-in was immediate. Some fell to their knees, others stood straighter. Their bodies changed colors, each one different now. The High Commander's light dimmed. I can hear my own thoughts, said a Stay-in near June. For the first time in centuries, around the room, the Stay-in were looking at each other as if seeing each other for the first time. Even the guards seemed confused, unsure what to do without the hive mind telling them. The High Commander staggered forward. What have you done to us? You've broken us. No, said Tal, stepping forward. You've freed us. We can still connect. But now we can also think our own thoughts. The High Commander's body flickered with weak light. Without the hive mind, we are nothing. You are everything you were before, said June, but now you have a choice. A message came through on Min's communication device. It was Dr. Park. The Stain ships have stopped attacking, she said. They're just floating in space. What's happening? The disruption worked, said Min. They're thinking for themselves now. Around them, the Stain were talking to each other, making decisions as individuals. Tal stepped forward. We will return to our home, it said. We have much to relearn about ourselves. And Earth? Asked June. Earth will remain free, said Tal. And perhaps when we have found ourselves again, we can return as friends, not conquerors. Breakum, High Commander, said nothing. Its once bright light was now dim. Without the power of the hive mind, it was just one Stein among many. June and Min returned to Tal's ship. As they left the warship, they saw the Stein vessels around Earth turning away, heading back toward the warship. It's over, said Min. We won. When they reached Earth, they found people celebrating in the streets. Dr. Park, Dr. Choi, and General Sung greeted them at the landing pad. You did it, said Dr. Park. You saved humanity. Not just humanity, said June, looking up at the sky where the Stein warship was already becoming just a small dot as it moved away. We saved the Stein from themselves, too. Tal stood beside them. My people have a long journey ahead. 10,000 years of being one mind will not be easy to overcome. But now we have hope. General Sung looked at Tal with new respect. Will you stay with us? Help us understand your people better? Yes, said Tal. I will stay, and I will learn from you as well. Humans have something special, the ability to work together while still thinking as individuals. My people need to learn this balance. As the sun set over Earth, June thought about how close they had come to losing everything, and yet, in the end, it wasn't weapons that had saved them. It was understanding. It was the power of free thought. Humanity had defeated a 10,000-year-old empire not by destroying it, but by setting it free.